And we're live.
Right now. What about the rubber ducky in the bed? Quack, quack.
You did what to your rubber ducky?
Oh, let's just put it this way. Taco plus taco makes little taco. Okay.
Taco with taco equals big taco.
Yeah, I like cheese on my taco. Grinded, not Mexican. Okay? Because
Mexican cheese, the best cheese.
Yes, the Mexican put poison in it. I don't trust them folks.
No, you shouldn't trust
Chinese? Afghani? Oh yeah, I'm totally good with you like that. Totally good.
Japanese people. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, they
Yeah,
okay.
No. They about took over the earth. Or was that German?
That was German.
Dang Nazis.
Yeah, you know, we might be talking to a Nazi right now.
Oh, hey Nazi. Open to.
You know something about somebody poisoning you?
Oh yeah, I like oranges, and one time I ate oranges and I got food poisoning. And you know who?
Oh, one time I ate Domino's pizza.
But you know who?
And I shit my ass out.
But you know what the chef was?
I shit my ass out.
You know,
I shit my ass out.
But you know what the chef was?
What?
He was a Japanesean.
No, he was Chef Boyardee. I seen that man. He shot my booklet.
Well, yeah, I guess stupid. I mean,
Chef Boyardee. His name, his real name was Japanese people.
Okay, well, his name was Japanesean because that's what the heck? What the heck's that noise? What the heck?
I think it's a grudge. Somebody got a gun.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
It stopped.
Oh. Don't put it in. What the?
He's coming back.
Oh my god!
Marty,
Stop!
I got Britney Spears.
Stop!
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I thought I was gonna die. Oh my god! Oh, what the? Oh.
Citizens of the late
Is this
19th
about
century.
Obama? Are you serious? Is
Obama? Anyways,
I think that was about Obama.
Obama is awesome.
Yeah, Obama.
He's the first black president.
Yeah, he's got the first black woman too. Yeah. He got 3 black children
Two.
and one black mother. But
Like,
he's got a white brother.
And are
He
you
got
being
a
racist?
white. I ain't being racist. Why would I be racist in my home hood? I'm not like a freaking gangster. I ain't gonna be.
You ain't gonna be driving by. Pop, pop, kept your ass. Pop, pop, kept your ass. Pop, pop, kept your
I
ass.
might do that with the pistol. But SMGs.
You'll be like Medea. Go up with the bazooka. Boom.
I'm not a girl with big tits.
She ain't got big tits. She got a big ass. Whoa.
Oh, that's
That's
not
the
real.
thing sticks out. Have you seen Norbit? Man, Rasputia. She got something.
Have you seen that coin stuck up your?
I have a coin stuck up my ass.
Yeah, I think I did see it. Check.
No, that's a tail.
What have you been having sex with, Joe?
To be continued.